The other day, I made a video called Americans Think They're Middle Class When They're Not, and I got a really good comment from someone, and I wanted to make a video on this because I believe it's an incredibly important topic that's beyond just what's being said here. His comment says, "My pay doesn't change too much from city to city. When I moved from Austin, Texas to Saginaw, Michigan, hope I'm saying that right, despite getting the same pay, it felt like I got a 40K raise. I make 111K and I'm closing on a 106K house in the next few weeks." Congratulations. That's amazing. And that's damn cheap for a home. But this goes on a deeper topic where I don't think we can be nomads forever. I don't think we should be constantly looking for better places to live for the sole reason of being able to have more you can spend for your life. I don't think this is sustainable. And although I would have done the exact same as you in this current day, I feel that I'm split between do what you think is right, which is correct, I fully support it, and at the same time, what is the future outlook so that we can actually build where we are. And in the US, it's a bit of a funny one, right? Because this is just moving state. You're still in the US, you're still in your own country, it's all good. But what happens when people are moving entire countries, have to learn new cultures entirely, new languages, things like this? I'm from Italy, and I have a lot of love for my home country, but that place is facing an incredible problem. So, some of the things they try to do is offer something like this. Italy's €1 houses, to getting people to try to revitalize villages that are just simply dying. And this is what I call patchwork solutions. Does it actually solve the problem? Just by giving this? By the way, it's never €1. You have a lot of renovation costs to build it up, and then you realize you're living basically nowhere. In most cases. I can't comment for all of them. I haven't looked at them. But here's the real issue. Italy's youth crisis. 1 million have left in the last 10 years. If you have most of your youth in a country, well, that's not true, it's not most, but if you have a large amount leaving your country, looking for a better life elsewhere, you really are taking the next generation or the future of the country and asking them to leave by whatever you might want to comment on. Bad policy, bad government policy, too much bureaucracy, too high cost of living, whatever. And I can already hear from far away some of the comments might be, hey, it is what it is. Every place has inflation. Every place is getting more difficult. And so, okay, but do we just accept that forever? Is that what it is? And I know I feel like I'm ranting. I'm not trying to place blame on anyone. I am part of the blame. I am accountable, just like we all are. But this is getting tiring. We're all trying to build a life in which we can live a bit more freely with our finances. The ability to have a bit more than just getting by paycheck to paycheck. Some countries do better than others. Especially in the West, we have a pretty good life considering, even so. But do we really want to see it go downhill even further than here? And this is why I make this video. I actually want to hear what you think. I want to know, I want to hear your comments. I want to know, what do you think is the solution here? You see? Because this is the case. According to a Census Bureau, approximately 8.2 million Americans moved between states in 2022. I'm just reading this, right? Which represents the number of people who could be considered to be moving for a better life. I would be totally okay with this number if it was for other reasons than just a better life. What's happening where you're from, which is just a life that you can't afford? Again, people might say, hey, this has been the case since forever. Just because it's been forever or just because it's happened before doesn't make it a good thing. Sorry, a little rant here. I just thought this comment was great, and he's using geo arbitrage within the US, as I mentioned, a major advantage if you're able to do it. So a lot of people fall apart from this ability because I'm not talking specifically about this person, But if they are able to take their job and work remotely with the same pay, yes, good for them. And congratulations on the home. And you can now build a life where you can have kids and not have to worry as much as you might have before. Austin, I know, is an expensive place and it's still growing in cost of living and all. So what's the thing here, right? What do? We need to stop working on patchwork solutions like these €1 houses, which is a goddamn joke, and start thinking, hey, why can't we just survive with working a job where we are? And there are extremities. Some places will die out regardless. It just feels like there's too much of it, and we're all trying to move around. Another example is a lot of Europe moving to Southeast Asia. Why? Europe is supposed to be one of the best places you can have a life. And again, in some cases, I'm being hypocritical. I'm being a bit contradicting. It still is in many factors. I'm just trying to point out a disturbing trend. One where I have a lot of loyalty to the West. I love the West. I love what it brings. I love the foundations of it. And I want it to remain the West. I want it to be a place where you can thrive. And anyone who is lucky to come into the West can thrive as well. Again, last one I'll bring up. Some of the problems we have, literally, I'm going to show you on Google Maps, the easiest. Some of the problems we have, damn, I showed you my home, I'm going to have to blur that, is here. We have Europe, obviously, and a lot of pins. This place is suffering too much immigration right now. And although I'm not against immigration in general, there is an overflow. And I grew up in Denmark. I grew up around a lot of Middle Easterners, amongst many other types of people. Do you think if it were their choice in the beginning that they really want to just move to all these countries if their country in the Middle East was doing fine? Probably not. At least not that high of a percentage. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate on this, but a lot of the damage being made in the Middle East from, in some cases, US warfare without good reason, same reason why they decided to go into Iraq, Afghanistan, and found out, hey, they didn't actually have the reason they said they did, like weapons of mass destruction, for example, in the Bush era. These places are now destroyed, sometimes beyond repair for many years or decades. Of course these people are going to flee to whoever decides to accept them, right? Essentially, the best would be if they had a place they could be. We all have a longing for our own home, and I can promise you that a lot of Middle Easterners have the same thing, because I grew up with them. I'm Italian, right? And I know a lot of Italians, we have something that is of massive treasure in Italy. Not only do we have some of the best nature, some of the best beaches, the sea, the Mediterranean Sea, in my opinion, one of the best seas in the world. Some of the best, most beautiful beaches are literally in Sardinia, where my parents are from. But here you go. The place is not doing well. And you can see it in the case, not only in the fertility rate, where people are just choosing not to have kids in most of Europe. In fact, I made a video about that. It's basically the entire world except Africa almost, and some regions over here in the stand countries. But we have issues, is what I'm trying to say. And we can't keep moving for better lives. It takes a lot of money to move. It takes a lot of time to build a new community, to make new friends, to then build your family without your family nearby to help. It's like the separation and individualism of people, which brings about our own, in some case, short-term poverty, which we need to build up again to get a good standing. Very few can move and instantly just do well. Very few. Yeah, again, I really want to hear your opinion. Please, just rip me to shreds if you think I should be, or tell me some constructive criticism and I'll read it. And I'd like to comment on it and have a back and forth. What do you think? What's the solution here? What can we do?